ounces.
For sure.
I find that title to be almost like a calling.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
Straight God. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it happened. I walked in my room and I sat on my bed and I was stressed out. I'm like, dang, what am I gonna do now? And I just heard God say, motivated by losses. I didn't know what that was gonna be. I just heard the name. I bet. So long story short, I ended up hitting my man 3 a.m. Snipes up. We got a logo done. Well, first, I just made a logo. It's cool. But then I hit 3 a.m. Snipes up probably a year or so later. It was like, hey, let's do this. We've been in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We got the logo, which is on my shirt now. And that's where that came from. So now it just turned into a lifestyle, you know. And from there, we're doing MBL Clothing Collective, which is the clothing arm of it. We're gonna do the entertainment, which is obviously the music side of things. We're trying to partner with some companies to invest, you know, build what we have going on. So that's really what that's all about. But overall, Movie About Losses is my story. I was born 1 pound 8 ounces. My best friend was murdered. He got shot in his head by somebody he thought was cool with him. My girlfriend was murdered. That's a whole different type of story. I got premature, born 1 pound 8 ounces. I got surgery from right here to right here. It's a big scar on my stomach. I was either gonna be a vegetable or dead, but I'm not. So it's a real story. And most people that hear, they be like, man, I would have broke you. You would have broke. You ain't me.
Right.
You know, you ain't built for, not saying you not, but mentally that can break somebody down. Spiritually, you can get broken. You know, everybody talk about, oh yeah, I need to get my spirit right. I need to get my healing right. That's cool. I appreciate it. I mean, if you want to go talk to rocks and do all that, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's not really my wave. So, you know, I just want to let people know, Motivated by Losses can be your story. You know, like even with you having this podcast, you know, like we were talking off air, you said, you know, you messed up on the whole podcast, Joe. Dang, all right, I messed up. I ain't beat you down. You know what I'm saying? You understood, okay, I messed up. What's the next thing I could fix? All right, boom, make sure my mics is on. Make sure this is on. You ain't going to bask in what you failed at.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you got to get up the next morning and fix it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really what that whole lifestyle is about. Get up and fix it. Get up and learn what you went through.
Right.
Hey, it's not bad. You're an adult. People are becoming adults now. You see what I'm saying? So that answers your question.
Yeah, man, it do. And I'm gonna just go backwards and start from where you said that you was born 1 pound.
1 pound 8 ounces.
8 ounces?
Yeah, open your hand.
And that's where
top
you was.
Of your finger to the bottom of your palm.
That's where you was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ain't no joke. That's my mom and dad. They'll tell you.
So, like the thing. So I'm gonna go kind of like I always play ping pong in these interviews because I always, every time somebody says something like that, or anything that they say, but like especially something in that story, I always bring it back to my situation and myself when I was younger.
For sure.
Did you know that was a situation that could have, like when you were younger, did you even have like it in your brain like this is what happened and this is what could have been the outcome, or like did you just like did people just kind of hide that from you?
Nah.
How did that happen? How did that work?
Truth be told, like my mom would always say it, but me, I'm so not oblivious, but I'm so focused on the next day, I never really pay attention to it. So she told me here and there through life, and then when I got older, maybe I think I was like maybe 12, 13, like she like broke it down, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm still not understanding it. But then when I got older at 23, 24, I'm like, she's still telling me, I'm like, all right, whatever. She always would remind, like, it never dawned on me why she would always remind me of it. She always would tell me.
What would she say?
She would always be saying, when you were little, you were born 1 pound 8 ounces, I would hold you in my arms as much as I could, et cetera, et cetera. She would always say that. I'm like, why you always, I'm just like, why are you always telling me that?
Right.
But now that I got older, I'm like, oh, this is why she told me this. Once I figured it out, I'm like, she wanted me to understand it. But for myself, I want to understand. It's a difference when your parents tell you, yo, you were born this way. You were built to be like this. You're this, you're that. But when you become man, becoming a woman, etc., you have to understand it and comprehend it like, oh, I see what's going on now. Right. I know why I was born 1 pound 8 ounces. Aside from being premature, I know now that I got a purpose. And most people can't live in their purpose. And I respect it because people ain't going to find it. I ain't find my purpose till 30 years old. Most people ain't going to find their purpose till they 40 or dead. You see what I'm saying? That's a straight up, that's real.
No, that's fact.
So I'm just glad I found it. And that's what I found through My life story that my mama told me.
But how old are you now?
32.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when did you realize that? Like, when did you realize this is what was this was the first adverse situation, and when did it start to become real and like manifest in your head as far as like I could have like what she said started to make sense. See what I'm saying?
Okay. It honestly, like I say, it made sense at 30 years old. It made sense.
It took that long.
It took that long to make sense because I mean, people would tell you, you know, you've been through this, you've been through that. That's the average. I'm not gonna say black because to me that's a cliche statement. That's just an average human thing.
Right.
But when you actually understand, like, dang, like I really like sometimes I might walk in the mall, or I might walk somewhere and I see kids that are in the chairs, you know, they brain dead. Like when they land like this, like they real live brain dead, and they can't do nothing. That was supposed to be me. And every time I walk past it, I'll be like, God, thank you, that's not me. And I'm not saying that to disrespect them, but it's like, that really could have been me. Like, I really, like, I'm lucky I came out with scars from here to here, you know, and, you know, whatever this situation is going on.
Right. What was the surgery?
They had to remove a lot, like my intestines. They had to remove. From what my mother told me, I think it was like part of my intestines, maybe my abs. I think I'm supposed to have like 6, but I got like 4. Well, maybe that's not. Right. She told me stuff was supposed to go into my body, so I had a I don't want to cuss, but a ish bag, you know.
Yes.
So I had that on there. Yeah. So that was a thing my mama told me. She told me a whole bunch of other stuff, but you know, the older I get, I'll be like, oh, okay. But you know, I think like, dang, it really hit me like, wow, I could have been dead.
Right.
Like, and me thinking about that now, it's like I really could have been gone to the point where we wouldn't have a conversation, but not in the reality mindset. I'm just thinking like, I really could have not been who I am. Like, I really couldn't have, like, I think, like, as me thinking about it now, it's like, dang, I really could have not been here.
Right.
I really could not impact people with my story. I really could not get close to God. I really could not, you know, deal with my lady in a certain way. I really could not be a friend to my, like, I really could not be here. And if I was here, I'd be brain dead. It's, you know, and I'm just sitting here all day. You see?
Now, that I'm always going to try to bring light to all these situations. When you said you couldn't be there for your lady, I'm assuming you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You couldn't.
Yeah, like I couldn't.
Right. So let's get in that. I'm just want to know. So now we get into the part about now you've obviously recovered past still some hardships, you know, things like that for the day. But like, when did you start to say that now is since I might not be able to do this X, Y, and Z if you had plans to play ball or anything like that. When did they transition and say, all right, I think I could tell this story to impact somebody else?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. To be honest with you, this gonna sound real. I just wanted to rap. Like, I really just wanted to rap. I ain't seen her say, yo, I'm telling my story. I'm just rapping about my life. And I wasn't thinking about it. So once I took maybe, let's say I was 30, I took like that summer off from rap. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's cool. So I took that time off to get myself together. Then I took off this whole winter break or winter, whatever was going on this past winter, to get my life right with God. And I was like, okay, I want to rap. But it was stressful. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like, me rapping was cool, but I wasn't as happy because I was stressed out. Because you had to think, for me, I had to pay for travel. I got to pay for a hotel. I got to pay my team. A lot. So I'm like, dang. I'm stressing out last minute. So you know what? I'm like, all right, what can I do? Let me just tell my story. My story made me happy more than just me rapping about anything could. So once I figured that out, okay. Then I released, in 2018, I released My Life, My Story. That was I didn't think that was just me rapping about my life. People liked it. All right, cool. Now I'm coming back. Now I'm about to do My Life, My Story too, but it's going to be about my growth. But now I understand my purpose of my story. So now I can literally get in detail and say as much detail as I can and say, I've been through this. This is what I've been through. Because in reality, there's somebody that's watching this podcast right now that's been through the same thing I've been through, the same thing you've been through, whether it be a broken relationship with a family. Not saying you got it, but a broken relationship with a family, a broken relationship with friends, this and this. And I'm just telling my story. But when I tell my story, I'm basically saying, this is how I got through it. What you're doing might not work. Why don't you try this? And I'm not trying to change your life, but try it and see what happens. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And you say that a lot too, because like I've seen just a few videos that you posted. A lot of it is always transparency about doing something because you're not the only one that's going through it.
No, for sure you ain't.
Tell me about, you know, growing up, like the influences, if there was any positive influences that you had, like who was those people?
No, it was a lot. My father for sure. My older brother, even my little brother, positive influence. He like my little brother, like a little swaggy dude. He get real fly. That's his twist. I'll be like, man, I want to get fly like a little dude, but I'm more so just chill, relax. I don't be too extra. Me and my older brother kind of the same. So those was my main influences growing up. And then my little sister, she's more so she a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So she more like she straight to the point.
Okay.
And me taking that now is like, okay, I got to get straight to the point on stuff. She like, why you do this? Like if I do something wrong, she be like, why you do this? Why you ain't do this? Oh, so you gonna do this? I'm like, yo, first off, I'm like, you know what? You're a woman. So maybe I'm just chalking it up to women.
Right.
Women.
Right.
But once I figure out, dang, my sister really trying to put that in there. And the same thing with my mom. My mom so was more so on a twist where she's really telling me like, yo, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, okay, these are positive influences. And I'll say this. A lot of people, when I mention positive influences in a 2-parent household and stuff, they be like, man, you got it good. That ain't necessarily true, bro.
Yeah,
it ain't. Shout out to everybody that, even though they have a 2-parent household, shout out to them. But not saying it's not bad, but sometimes you just like, look, we too sheltered. We want to go jump into the streets. We want to go deal. If it's a woman, we want to go deal with, we want to do whatever.
Right.
So we still got to find a way. It ain't just a 2-parent household. You good.
Yeah.
So that was my influences, if that answers your question.
Were the folks married?
Yeah, they've been married 20 plus years. I want to say.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
And you said you had one sister. Or...
So I got one sister. I got an older brother that's on my dad's side.
Okay.
And I got my little brother who's on my mom's side. So my little brother and my sister are on my mom's side, all in the same household, and my older brother is from that other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let me ask you this, because you said I'll say that coming from a 2-parent household, the stigma is like you got it good, and you grew up pretty in a well-off situation.
Sure.
You could see your dad every day, your mom every day. And you seem like you had a good support system with your sisters and your brothers and all that. And you had different parts of the tree you have different parts of that family tree to pick off from.
For sure.
A lot of influences. So somebody had that has that. How do you end up in depression? How do you have these suicidal thoughts that you said in previous interviews that you had, and go through anxiety? Like, how does all that transpire, even with this type of situation you was in?
Because even though I got the 2-parent household, to me it's still a pressure. Because it's like, okay, my mom might say, that's
to not be the one that failed.
Yeah, like, yo, you got to get out by this. Your sister, she got degrees here. My brother doing this. But me, on the other hand, I want to rap. We know, as rappers, as businessmen, we know that ain't no joke. Like, we really got to figure something out.
Right.
So every day you got to wake up. How can I go get this money? So my parents won't be mad at me, but like my mom always tells me, you can rap, you can do whatever you want, but you have to be able to feed yourself when I'm not here. You see what I'm saying? That's where the depression and stress come from, because it's like.
And you said your sister was a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So you got that.
Yeah, you feel me? And it's like, granted, having a 9-to-5 is great. I have it. I'm a school teacher. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, I know I could do this music and I could kill it, because I'll do it for the love, for free, and get the money behind it. But it's like, I really got to sit down and go get some money now. How am I going to do it? I got to get some merch. But that means I got to go get that merch pressed up. I got to spend X amount of dollars to get it done. I got to be in the studio. I can't be in there all night anymore. I got to be in there 2 to 3 hours a day, then work on my marketing, working on, you see what I'm saying?
While still having a full-time.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And even then, having a full-time job, working as a teacher from 7 to 2. I might come home. I go to the gym afterwards or whatever, boom, get my little workout on. I come home, I get tired. I don't be wanting to make no food sometimes. I just want to chill. But then I got to figure out, okay, I got to go do this music. I may not have to record, but I got to put this joint out. I got to go pay for some videos. I got to put my money, I got to figure out how to make more money, because I don't got 2 jobs. It's just one.
Right.
And most people know school teachers don't get paid that well. So whatever we get paid, we got to take that, divvy that between, cars or gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you got kids.
Right. And then you got to have something for yourself.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
you see what I'm saying?
for yourself, right?
So that's the main. That's where that depression is and stuff comes from. But the suicidal thoughts, that really just came from me. Like I can't do depression. You know, everybody got that cliche. I'm depressed. I'm suicidal. No, like I just get real. I get real in my head sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my girl earlier, and we just had a convo where it was like I want to do music full time, but I trust God and everything. But at the same time, I still gotta live. I gotta be able to feed myself. She like, yo, you can feed yourself. Just do what you're doing, but keep what you got going on. I'm like, you see what I'm saying?
Right. So you made this brand motivated by losses,
Right?
Because you genuinely were using those losses and turning them into lessons.
For sure.
It was keeping you going.
For sure.
But I will say this too is like it's so crazy hearing you talk because it's like almost like me and you is damn near identical. And that's not a cliche. I know that's cliche on podcasts, but it's like I ain't a regular podcast.
No, for sure.
Like, so my issue is I get in my own head too.
Right.
Like I have moments where the doubt creeps in, and I'm an only child, so it's really just me battling me.
Yeah,
it's like
tough.
The expectations that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was expectations upon you.
Yeah.
Especially the more you spoke out, the more you got bigger, the more you started hearing and getting feedback, people listening to your songs and like, oh, yeah, it was nice, it was tough. So then it's like you got that line and like you like trying to cross that line, but it's like something is keeping you from taking that second leap.
Mm-hmm.
Is that currently where you at now? Or like have you, I guess, appreciated the moment and said, you know what, I'm gonna just jump right in and do what I gotta do?
Ooh, that's a good question. To be honest,
I do that, bro.
That's a good question for sure.
I do that. I'm warmed up now. It's time to go.
Yeah, that's something for me because me personally, I am at that portion where it's like I'm about to just do this for free. But I look at it like when I did it prior, just for free, just not really having to care, just doing it. I was good. I wasn't worried about no money, no nothing. No money was coming in. I was just doing it.
But you was just doing it.
I was just doing it. But now it's like I'll just do it. Money's coming in.
But you got it. Yeah.
And the problem with that is, to me, unfortunately, sometimes where it's like, okay, the money's coming in, but now I'm like, you know what? How can I feed myself? That's where the stress is going to come in. Now it's like, oh, okay, I'll do this for free. I don't need no money. I'll just go be a teacher and get some money.
Mm-hmm. When
we're done teaching art, my last day of school is really June 9th, because then you got the in-services and stuff, and that's where we ain't really got to go.
Where you teaching it?
Thomas McCain High School.
Oh, McCain. Okay.
So I do para teaching. Okay. Kids that need help, I just help them out and whatnot.
Okay.
So our last day is really June 9th, technically.
Okay.
The school's like 16th, I think. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, am I past that line? I do want to jump into a full throttle. Do I want to save all my money so I can have that money to go and invest in these things?
Right.
Yes. But I know that's going to cost. Is it going to cost thousands of dollars? Yeah. But God is going to give me a way where I don't have to spend thousands of dollars. Because in reality, everybody, shout out to all the podcasters and music artists and etc. But we don't need to run ads as much as we think we do. If you can consistently just put out content that people relate to, that's where I'm going to win at. And that's where I think I'm going to win at. Now, if I can say, I know this where I'm going to win at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, if it's to scale and get some more money, yeah, of course we're going to run ads. Right now, no. So, to answer your question, I do want to jump into, that lane. After I put it on Instagram, I put it on my Facebook. After June 9th, I want to go full time in the musicianship. But that means I got to get the merch I got to get the clothing line together. I got to get all this together so I can fund this. Because at the end of the day, motivated by losses is my lifestyle. But at the end of the day, that's a message, bro. That's a lifestyle for somebody. How are you going to get that lifestyle out? I'm going to get it out through a t-shirt. I'm going to get it out through my music. Shoot, my homie, shout out to my man, Chef Rel. He cooked. He got a little bit back. That's his company. But he's motivated by losses. That's my brother. So it's like, yo, we getting it out there. Shout out to my man, Paris. He got his company. Like, this is a lifestyle we all live.
Right.
And reality is 90% of the world lives like this.
Right.
But it's hard to get it out here. So, and I, like I said, I'm June 9th, I'm going to take that leap. It's going to be scary, but
I mean, but that's natural though.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Tell me about the interview. How did you get to connect with Good Morning Wilmington?
Oh, shout out to Ivan. I know Ivan for a while actually, and we just built a relationship. And then one day I was on Market Street by the Villa DTLR now, and I saw him. I was chopping up. I said, yeah, I was trying to get on your show. He said, oh, all right, yeah, just take this email down, email this person, and I emailed the person, and I think maybe next couple of weeks I was on the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was fire. My man, Chef Rel, Little Big Bites. He was just on my man Fame. He was just on his show, the 15 Minutes of Fame show, doing his cooking. So he has like, salmon egg rolls. He got, he's cooking some joints, salmon egg rolls, chicken egg rolls. Like he really, he working on some veggie stuff. Pluck my dog, and he got that.
That's what's up, man. What's his name? You said
Chef Rel. Yeah, Chef Rel.
Chef Rel.
Chef Rel. Go on IG and check him out. I see the information. For sure. And then it's another. Shout out to one of my homegirl, McKee. She got a company called Chicken and Wings, and they got their little thing going on. She killing it. She got Dynasty Styling Studio. So, ladies, if you want to get your hair done, go head over to her on 40, near I want to say the Wawa on 40. Mm-hmm. You get your hair done. So, yes.
So let me ask you this, because you got a lot of different connections.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you think, I guess, when it comes to the network, are these people that you knew, or are these people that you were just, it was all like through like third party like references? I'm only asking because, like, I think for me, there's a connection piece to like the other businesses, small businesses, because I'm always supporting Black.
For sure.
But it's like, again, when you're so isolated, you don't really be having, you don't, your attention span and your time to be outside and to be networking is very small. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of in the situation of like, it's just this area, this state is like, I don't think it's here is where, the real, that next big jump is. So you tell me, from somebody that's very plugged in, like, how have you expanded in a good way, better way and different as far as your network out here?
I've been doing this for a long time. I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe, I want to say, I think my teenage years, I'm not early 20s, I should say.
Okay.
I knew a lot of people that I knew them from school, but I had a temper problem. People that I'm supposed to be doing business with, I'm getting mad at them. I'm arguing with these people, and like I just meet them, and I'm ready. I'm on go. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready because I had an attitude problem. I was like, dang, I'm ruining bridges, and I was like, okay, boom, what should I do? Boom, fell back, relax, apologize to the people I needed to, took accountability for me. I didn't really take it until 30, but I was like, let me take it like that. Accountability, took it, built the right bridges. Now, to answer your question, Delaware is a place where we can make it shape. It is. But the problem is, in my opinion, we're so stuck here. Meaning, for example, shout out to my man Fame, right? He's a host for the Sixers. I got a relationship with him. He's from here. I would assume, so I think he is from here. I want to be right. He's from here. He lives here. I built a relationship with him. Now my name is in Philadelphia. Oh, that's Isaiah Lee from Delaware. We know him through XYZ. We know through, boom, we know Out the Mud podcast through Isaiah. I might go to New York. Yo, my man, Out the Mud podcast. Yo, can he interview you? Boom. Oh, yeah, come on and interview us. Now you went to this spot in New York. You built this relationship. You come back here. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You holler at another young boy that got a podcast. Hey, yo, youngin', come holler at me. Boom. Now you put a podcast event together. Now you bring all your connections back here. While them connections are coming back, they like, oh, we heard you through Out the Mud podcast. Okay, you got your podcast, you got his podcast, you got her podcast. All these podcast people are coming back through you, and now Delaware is becoming a hotbed.
Yeah,
you see,
that's like exactly the lane that I'm in. You know what I mean? But I guess for me, and somebody's got to talk me out of it. It's just like you said it. You hit it right on the head. We get stuck here. Yeah. And I'm not trashing Delaware. I mean, it's definitely where we from. And I'm proud to, be a part of, the whole tri-state. But I just think that like my next question was going to be about, your business and how like the motivated by us is like, is it harder to you to brand that or to be a rapper and work on the music side? But I'm going to ask that in a two-part because I'm going to relate it to, again, where we're at in Delaware. Because it's so slow, because people get stuck, because I feel like there is a stigma of like, oh, are you good? But like, you ain't, why are you doing that? Or why you, oh, you up? But like, yeah, I ain't really worried about that, bro. Like, I'm on some other type of time. Like, it's not like you go to DC and New York and everybody moving, everybody let they get money. It's just, it's very low and saturated. So like, with that, is it easier for you to just work on the hip hop? Because I feel like that's kind of isolated. That's almost like playing basketball. It doesn't really matter about the other four guys. Whoever has the ball is the playmaker.
Right.
Or is it the business side with the motivated by losses that's easier because you got a team and you got people that you can kind of pick off of? What do you feel like is the best place to be in, the lane to be?
Honestly, me personally, I ain't even gonna say business and I'm not gonna say rap. I'm gonna say me. And I'm explaining to you why I say that. Because wherever I put my feet at and I move, I know what room I gotta walk in. You see what I'm saying? So if I walk into a room as a rapper, that's where I need to be at. That's where I'm gonna go shine at. When I come back home, I'm Isaiah. Or Isaiah, as people call me, Elite. If I gotta go be a businessman, I'm gonna jump in that business lane. I'm good over there. I come back home, I'm me. If I gotta be in a spot where it's both at one time, okay, I gotta be a rapper for about 15 minutes on stage, then I gotta be a businessman. So I never get confused. You see what I'm saying? I never get lost in what I got going on. So if that's to answer your question, it's like, okay, I'm good wherever I'm at. Wherever I go, I'm good, bro. Because I got God with me, and I can put my 2 feet anywhere, and I understand where I'm going at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I never get messed up in certain areas when it comes to business.
How big is faith to you? Because you speak
huge, bro. And I'm gonna be straight up. I am a Christian. Yeah, now am I a Christian rapper? No. But I'm just a person that's a Christian for sure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, no. I just, I still do what I got like this. I still, do what I do, but not on the tip where it's lukewarm to the point where it's like, oh, you do what you do, but you can still praise God. No, bro.
Right. You ain't out here being like Ryan Garcia, like but you gambling and all this.
That's a whole different story. I get it too. But I get it though. But with me, it's just like faith is big to me, bro, because at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, look, I can't do this alone.
Right.
You feel me? God allowed me not to get shot. I could have been in shot. Not saying I was a thug or street dude or nothing.
Right.
But I could have been in situations. I was in situations where, I'm not even say I was in situations, because that's a cliche statement. I was around people that were part of the streets, and I just happened to go. I'll put an example, right? So I was shooting a video for somebody, and what ended up happening was, it wasn't no beef, but dude was just being real. Like the guy I was shooting for, he was cool. That's my man. But the dude that was around, he was just real nutty and real antsy. And so the guy I was shooting for got real pissed off. And long story short, he just kept throwing, he threw something at the wall and he just kept doing it. And Bull was getting mad. So a guy that was like, just walked up in the area that knew the guy was shooting for was about to walk up and be like, listen, bro, we got to chill or we going to have to,
Yeah.
And at that moment, it clicked. I was doing that for money because I had a show the next week and it was going to pay me $100. And now $100 was going to get me to the show and get me back. But in that moment, it clicked. I was like, I could shoot music videos here and there. You feel me? But at the time, I was like, it clicked. I can't be in this mix. I can't be here because if I'm here, I'm going to lose my life. I'm not going to go. I may not get shot. I may not go to jail, but I'm going to lose me, which is my life. I'm going to lose me as a person. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to start adapting to being around these areas. I'm going to start wanting to go on, this block, when I don't got no reason to go over here. Go to this bar when I don't need to go over here. Unless they booking me for a show. And even if they book me for a show, I'm going to do my set and leave.
Right.
Not saying I'm scared or nothing, but I know for my spirit, I can't be over there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? People just go over places just because, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm tough on this. Cool. Yeah, I'll be tough. You be tough. But when the situation happens, you either going to end up jail, you may end up dead. Now, don't want to hit on anybody, or you might just end up losing yourself to the point where now you spiral out of control. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Most people spiral out of control in situations they ain't supposed to be in.
That's a fact. So then, like, even for me, like, I don't believe, and I'm only saying this because of just everything that, like, you've been saying as far as the anxiety, as far as getting out of situations, as far as your faith.
Sure.
So I was having a conversation with somebody, real, like, just not too long ago about therapy.
For sure.
And I'm not big on therapy. I mean, I know, so no disrespect to nobody that's doing therapy and all that. I salute y'all. But I just tell, for me personally, like the shit that I've been through in my life, and you cool to curse if you want to.
Yeah, sure.
Like, there ain't nothing that I'm going to be paying you to tell me how to fix me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, my question to you is, when you find yourself in them moments, bro, what is the first thing? What is your first instinct and your first clue of, or the first defense mechanism you want to call it, to get you out of that situation? What do you do? Like how do you, mentally, is it physically? Like, what do you do to get out of that situation?
If it's going down, I think like, okay, the first thing is thinking is like, okay, how do I do this? Because a lot of people say I'm really observant. Like people that personally know me, I'm very observant. Like if I'm walking in there, like this crib, like I know, like I know, and I know I can tell already. So if I'm in a situation where something's going down, before I walk into the situation that I may have to be in, just to be witness to something, I look like, okay, I know where exit door is. I know what this type of person is. I know who I'm talking to. I can tell. Like it's like I promise you. I told my girl the other day. I told my girl yesterday. It's weird. Like I can literally tell a person's spirit before I talk to him. She was like, "How the heck does that happen?" I was like, "I don't know." You see what I'm saying? But to answer your question, to get out of those ways, I'm thinking like, okay, if I'm into something and it's about to go down, I think I hear my mom's voice in my head. Whatever you do affects the whole family. And once I hear that, I hear it all the time. Like, whatever I do affects the whole family. Hey, bro, we gotta go. Or if I'm with my homies and he see a fight is breaking out, and he knows me, sometimes I analyze the fight. I'm a very analytical person. He tell me his first thing is, Zay, we gotta go. We out. We ain't staying here. We ain't watching. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't about to put this on. We ain't about to put this on phones. Nothing. We out. You see what I'm saying? And that makes me think like, if my homies is telling me, yo, we out. All right, we out.
Yeah, and that mean they're looking out for you.
Yeah, they like, bro, you got something going on. Even my homie Rel, the chef Rel, I tell him all the time, like, he be like, yeah, we out, bro, we going. Even if he got some food thing, because the thing is, and I'm learning, well, I've been learned it, I don't put myself in situations where I need to be around security. Not saying I'm a tough guy, but I don't need to be around security most of the time. Not saying I'm a tough, so anybody's watching this, I'm good, but my mental is like, you know what, I'm here to change somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you go to a J. Cole concert, of course you have security for the business side of things, just so the concert goes smooth.
Right.
But most of the people that go to J. Cole concert, I'm assuming, is just chill. They don't be on it.
They're not trying to do all that.
From when you go to a Meek concert, you may need security because, stuff he raps about is turned up sometime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dirt concert, of course, Baby concert. But if you go to, a Russell concert, the boy that's from California, be chill. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you want to put yourself in environments and around people that fit your lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? Because if you want to take this podcast to a whole new level, bro, you have to literally put yourself around people that want to take this to a level with you. Meaning you may not have a team right now, but you can pray. Whatever you believe in, whatever. Believe in, you pray, all right, boom. Put me around these type of people. You get around these type of people, bro, without you knowing it. Now somebody might hit you. I want to sponsor your podcast. Oh, how much? All right, listen, I give you $500 for the first 6 months. Now you even got $500. Now you can buy new mics and everything. Like, oh snap, where does money come from? It ain't a coincidence, bro. All the good stuff in the world is not a coincidence, bro. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. I mean, I respect people's thought process, but it ain't a coincidence. Bro. It's not. There's no possible way that me and you, granted, we spoke on the internet. There ain't no possible way me and you could sit here and have this conversation like this camera's not on.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's why I started this whole thing. Because like I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And I ain't crazy, but like I just, you talk to yourself.
My dad always tells me if you answer yourself, you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah. I don't answer myself. I definitely talk to myself. First, like I talk to myself because I feel like the ways of figuring out life and navigating through a daily operation, like you said, even if it is business, personal, is to coach yourself.
Yeah,
you got to be coachable to yourself, and that's kind of where this whole thing came from. Is just like with all this information that's in the world right now, and that's why me and you, when you say it's not a coincidence, is because we're about sharing information.
Yeah,
we're two guys that come from a small area.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But we speak on a lot of the same things that people need to hear.
For sure.
That ain't verified. That ain't got that ain't on these major platforms. And that's where this whole thing started. And it's about gathering those wins and taking those losses.
For sure.
And turning them into lessons.
For sure.
So then for me, just jumping back to the rap career, because I feel like that's one thing that you're really proud of.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
What is your proudest moment, like in life? What is the proudest moment for you right now as a person? And it could be rap, just because I know we've talking about it a little bit. Like your proudest moment is being in the music business. What is the proudest moment for you?
Aside from performing performing for Davies and Ja Rule at the Queen, which was dope.
You performed. When did you do?
I opened up. What was it? It was 2000. It was right before the pandemic. I think 2019 at the Queen.
How'd you link that?
Crazy part is, so I think I've been following the Queen like on Instagram, social media for a long time. I just reached out to him, and we had a relationship, and I just started building a relationship with him on social media. And I seen, that's what happened. Yep. I'm tripping. So long story short, now that I think about it, I got it. Shout out to my man Ty. We went up to Davies at that time. Davies was popping still, but at that time when he first came out,
2019, he was on point. He was on fire,
and I was a fan. I'm still a fan for sure, But he was like super on fire. And what ended up happening was he had a in-store meet and greet in Philadelphia. Shout out to Set Free. They all put it together. And what ended up happening was I was just chilling. I didn't even talk to him at first. Me and Set Free had a conversation. He may not remember me, but shout out to Set Free if you do remember me. We just spoke, and what ended up happening was after it was over, I ended up meeting him. I said, "Yo, Davies, I'm Isaiah Lee Boom." We took a picture. It's actually on my Instagram too. We took a picture.
And he kind of husky too. Like
he told him like 60 change. Shout out to him. And we did that. And then we took the picture. I said, "Yo, you're gonna be booked in Delaware to perform, and I'm open up for you." I didn't know him from a can of paint. I just knew he was a rapper, and I liked it.
You just went out and said that to him?
Yeah, I literally said it to him. I remember verbatim. I remember he had on I can remember the whole thing, because that probably maybe like an hour later he went and shot the Free Smoke video. Shot the D Jones. Like he shot it with he was just on their block. He shot because his homies is from Philly and all that. So but I remember directly saying it to him. Cause my man Ty was standing next to me. He had his son. He was just chopping it up. I said, "Yo, you're gonna perform in Delaware, and I'm open up for you." He was like, "I bet." I don't think he probably ain't gonna remember it. But in a year later, that was 2018, I think. In a year later, 2019, 2019, I reached out to the Queen and was like, "Yo, I want to, open up for Davies." But I ain't come on to him like that. I said, "Hi, my name is Isaiah Lee, rap artist in Delaware. I would like to speak to you about opening for Davies. How can I do so?"
Right.
And I remember all the performances I had, and I ended up making a EPK, like an online EPK, a one sheet. Boom, made the EPK, sent it to him. They was like, "All right, bet, yeah, we like you, boom, we're gonna book you." So then they put me on the flyer, So it was me. I was the only person that's not from Davies' camp, so it was me. But Davies, I was in the headline, so it was me, Davies, D Jones, and rest in peace to his homie Shooter. You feel me? It killed it.
D Jones, you saying Philly D Jones?
Yeah, okay. Was there. Yep, that's his man's. And then I met my boy, the guy Piff, that be with Davies. Shout out to Piff. Piff is a funny boy, and he fire when it comes to music. Sure. I ain't gonna lie. Piff Jones on IG, he fire. But boom, so I built that relationship with them. Then I actually talked to his manager, and I was like, "Yo, is it cool? I can perform in a couple more dates in some states." He was like, "Yeah." So I was supposed to go on tour with him, but I was trying to perform for like 2 more events, but I think I just didn't get a chance to. They've been busy, so it didn't happen. I wasn't mad. I was like, but I got to perform for Davies. Okay, boom. Maybe a year later, pandemic happened. Ja Rule came here. I opened up for Ja Rule when he came. I just, reached out to the Queen people. I built a relationship. And it was like, "Yo, come on, boom." It was dope because it was all ladies. That's the thing. So performing in front of, it's crazy. Like performing in front of all women, it's a little bit different performing in front of like a mixed crowd of mostly homies in the front.
Right.
Because not saying I'm a ladies man or nothing, but like just being in front of ladies, it's like, it's real, it's comfortable.
Because I thought you was going to say it was like more intimidating.
No,
it's comfortable.
It's comfortable for me because you can be, for me, I can relax a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can kind of like, all right, boom. Versus the homies, not saying you, but most dudes, when you get on stage, they're going to stare at you.
Yeah.
They ain't really trying to hear what you're trying to say. They trying to smoke and chill and all that. Cool. But the women, they're gonna react. You see what I'm saying? When you're as an artist or even as a podcaster, your crowd is gonna react to what you do. They not there. They there to be excited, but you there to give them energy, because whatever you do, they're gonna give it back to you.
Yeah,
and that's what I learned.
That's a fact.
That's where I learned reciprocation on stage. That's where I learned reciprocation. I was like,
What is it? What does that mean?
I guess that's the actual word. Like when you give somebody something and you do that.
Go okay.
Yeah, so guess I got it right.
If you know, so yeah, if you know, because I think matter of fact, it's crazy you said that because I think the Locks went on the Breakfast Club and talked about that,
Yeah.
like working the stage and like being able to like as an artist, being able to like play the crowd and give them energy to feedback to you. So it's interesting you even said that. Like females is calm because I feel like they be intimidated.
Scared at first when I first not scared, but like when I first started really rapping, I remember, man. Shout out to my man Floyd. Shout out to drummer. I think that's a little brother. They got a joint called Whaler, but Floyd has his own thing going on. I remember Floyd took me to my first ever performance. My performance, he was at a bar in Wilmington. I performed at a bar. It was cool. It was fun. And they liked it. I was like, oh, snap. Okay, cool. But I'm not thinking of it. I did it as a joke. I'm just, all right, let me rap. I had a song. I'm going to try to rap. Boom. And then shout out to my man JQ. My man Javon Newman. He sing. He's down Dover area. He's dope. Long story short, we ended up going to an event. Atlantic Records was there. And I performed. And they liked me. They wanted to do a deal with me. But unfortunately, by the time I got connected with them, but the regime changed. Like the guy that wanted to bring me in the A&R, he ended up leaving. I don't know where he went. Like, you know how it is. Like when you get in the record labels, it's just like a regular job. Like, you know, you might get fired, you might get placed to another building.
Right.
But that was a big highlight. You know, I was supposed to be with Atlantic at one point, but you know, that didn't happen. Then I think 2019, I signed a deal with EQ Distribution, which is a Rock Nation distribution arm. But I ended up leaving only because I didn't understand that they're just distributing the music. You got to do all the work yourself. You got to do the marketing. You got to do that. I was like, damn, okay. So I just left. I'm not thinking that.
Right.
But, you know, since then I was like, okay, I'm independent now and I'm moving now. And I'm learning now independence does not mean by yourself. In the music industry, independence, that's what people think it is. But independence really means having a team, just not, you know, kind of signed to like a big label. So for me now, my goal now is to obviously build my team. Take
the mic up a little bit.
My foot, bro. Check.
No, you good. Yeah, okay. I just was lifting it up a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry, bro.
Okay, now to build a relationship with some companies and get a distribution deal. I can do an 80-20, 50-50 preferably. And just, you know, just build from there.
So when you say like 80-20, 50-50, you meaning like
splits?
80%, okay, 80% of because I'm trying to figure that whole music industry thing out too. Like it seems sticky, but
it's sticky if you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think who I can figure out an example. Dang, who can I figure out? Cause I was just thinking about the other day. Oh, okay. So an artist out here now, for example, right? Let's just say G Herbo. I don't know his deal. Let's say, for example, right? He can do, matter of fact, Shy Glizzy. Because I remember him saying this to Wallow and Gilly. I'm going to paraphrase it. So he owns all his masters. He owns all his masters. He owns most of all his music, and he owns something else. So all he did was he hired 300 to distribute his stuff, and whatever they make, they split the profits, and that's a good deal. Versus you have 21 Savage, where he said in an interview with Math Hoffa, he did a 95-5 admin deal, where he pays them to get all of his, you know, royalties, etc., from wherever it's supposed to be at, and he gets all the rest of the money. They just going to go do it, so he ain't got to do it. You know, that's a different type. There's different deals you can get, but a lot of artists, you know, when you first get in the game, you know, like you said, you play ball, right? Okay, so you can probably attest to this, and I could be wrong, but I think I heard LeBron say on the shop, most ball players when they first start, they get a rookie deal, and whatever the rookie deal may be, it may not be something crazy. You just got to get what they give you.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing in the music industry. Most artists that don't know the game as they know it,
right,
they get their 360.
Right.
So they get the, you know, the only reason 360s are only made because at one time the label wasn't making any money. That's the only reason 360s came around. If the labels was just doing what they was doing, they wouldn't be on 360 deals. So that's why they saying, all right, I'm taking your merch, I'm taking your ticket sales from your shows, I'm taking this and this. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't be like that. You know, me knowing now that in the independent game I know where it's at for sure.
So are you still going to be doing like public speaking on the side as far as that? What should like when you go into those forums? Because I do similar deals. Like when I do the podcast, when I'm on like I always try to make sure that I always relay any message to back to coaching because that's my roots. So your roots being in the music business. When you're doing these public speakings and like you're having these network opportunities, are you you reaching out? Is the message from your past and how you kind of came up? Are you doing more of the letting are you kind of just dictating off of whoever the crowd is? Because I know sometimes like if you with like a certain group, you might not give them that whole hardship speech. You might give them the, you can take your music speech. You could go from that angle. Or if you got like kids that's growing up in poverty and things like that, you can maybe hit them a little harder. Like, how do you navigate that space? Because public speaking ain't for everybody. No, for sure. So like, how do you navigate that space when you have those opportunities to speak to the youth?
I just feed off of the youth in general, Like even perfect example, even me working at the school, shout out to my young boy Z4. That's my young boy for real, and all them guys, Samir, all them little dudes. But Z4 especially, I gravitate to him really, really fast because he reminds me of me. And me building a relationship with him is like, okay, I kind of see where he wants to go in life. And I try to not guide him per se, because you can't guide anybody at that age. They let him do what they do. I just try to give him advice. I don't give him that old.
How old is he?
15, I think, 15, 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a young guy. So, when I go into public and speaking engagements, I mentally think I'm used to talking to Z4. I'm used to talking to these high school kids. So I use it as a clutch or something in my brain saying, okay, when I'm sitting in front of the high school kids, I observe when I walk in the room. And I look, I'm like, okay, what kid looks like he's attentive? Not super attentive, but like, I want to be a leader. I just don't know how. Oh, hey, what's up, bro? What's your name? Oh, I'm so-and-so. What's going on, Isaiah? Nice to meet you, man. What you got going on? Then I feed off of him, because what's going to end up happening with him is, believe it or not, he's going to lead that whole crowd. And I can tell he's going to lead that whole crowd. I'm like, okay, you're going to lead that crowd, bro. So while I'm having this conversation, I'm going to act like I'm talking to you one-on-one, but I'm talking to this whole crowd. Because it's going to hit him different. This whole crowd is going to listen.
Right. That's when you know.
It's going to hit him different to the point where he can now, well, I remember Mr. Isaiah said this. Boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? And these kids are going to listen to me. And they're going to be like, dang, yo, you talking to this guy right here? Oh, this guy's paying attention hard. Let me pay attention. Now I got his ear. Oh, he's paying attention. Now I got their ears all in one. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
that's interesting that you said that, because that's the angle, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Even again, going back to my roots, when I got the ball in my hand, and we're gonna get to sports in a minute. When I got the ball in my hand and there's a guy in front of me, I'm really not even worried about that guy. It's the guy behind him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm always thinking about it. Ain't about even doing this. Like, I'm talking to you, and we're talking to each other, but our message is to get to the next person. To get to the next person. So like, that's interesting that you said that. So, what's the next move for you? Like, I know you said June 9th is the deadline. What's going on? Like, what's the very next thing we got? Do we got an album coming? Do we got merch coming? I need an NBL.
Yeah, I got you. We're going to make it happen. Sure, we're going to make it happen even on forward. After this, after June 9th, I'm taking it to a whole new level. So now the new music is going to come. The photo shoot. I mean, I've been doing photo shoots, but they was just like for brands and purposes of business. But now it's like the music side of me is going to come out. So new music is going to come out. I'm doing a whole new NBL clothing collective, an actual clothing company. Where I'm hiring. I guess you could say hiring. I'm hiring another company to outsource all of my product. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I can get them to push it. So not them to push it, but them to make it for me, and I can mail it off and stuff. So
gotcha.
But the music wise, yeah, new music is coming. I'm doing My Life, My Story 2, which should be out closely around my birthday. We have I Never Gave Up Fest. So Juneteenth, I'll be in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm doing the Juneteenth festival down in Atlanta, and then the next day, God willing, I haven't got the email back, but I have my flyer already made. They have an Afram Festival in Baltimore, which is going to be Eric Bellinger, Ty Dolla $ign, which will be on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, shoot.
A couple other people praying that I get it. But if God willing, I get it, the flyer's already made. I can just post it up.
So you're going to be performing?
Yeah, God willing.
Let me know about that. I'll come down there for that.
That's God willing.
I definitely will come down there for that.
Atlanta is definitely a already got that's already locked in. But Afram, I put the email out there, so we'll see.
Now, do you got an LLC?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I went through crazy part. I went through Zen Business this time. Zen Business was hard. Shout out to Zen Business. I think it was like $140 to get it done. So the LLC is cool. So I'm just learning now about the LLC. Meaning, even though I have it, because we live in the social media world.
Yeah.
Everybody get LLC. Everybody.
Yeah.
Bro, do you know what comes with an LLC? It ain't just having it. You got to know the business when you get it.
Right.
So I'm learning the business as I have it. I got it sitting in my pocket, but it's like, yo, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was only listening because you brought up the whole having, because I'm still trying to figure it all out too. And like my homie has got a business now, and we both kind of sat on and got the LLC thing moving, and I was kind of like brought onto it from somebody that I know, network, whatever. So like a lot of the things that about it, which you right, is like a lot of things you don't know. But the one thing that it does give you opportunity and avenues to get other funding. And I know you said you got somebody that's pushing your merch out. So that's what I was gonna ask you. Did you tap in any like the net 30s, the business credits and all that? Like, did you?
I'm still learning. Still learning. Shout out to LaRussell because I be checking his music out and he be talking. Net 30, we don't do. I think he said something about net 30s. We don't do biz credit, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense. So with the company that I'm going to be doing my shirts and stuff through, it's called Sneak. Well, I'm going through two. So Sneak Prints is in PA, which is a SNEAK Prints, PRINTS or TZ.
Sneak Prints.
Sneak Prints, right? They did for what I. Matter of fact, shout out to my man Driz. I don't want to be wrong, but I think they did.
Shout out to Dre, episode 11.
I think they did some of Dre's teachers. I don't want to be wrong, but I did see like some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Like when they posted like, what they've been doing. Okay. I did see him. I might have saw him. I think I saw Carry My Own Weight. I don't want to be wrong. So forgive me y'all if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing that. And there's another company called Constantly Create Shop in New York.
Okay.
At Park in New York. So I just, contracted them to say, hey, yo, I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars. Can y'all print these out? Boom, 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 whatever. Like I said, my man 3AM Snipes, he did this logo, and usually what I used to do with a lot of my stuff, I usually just press it up, like heat press. I get it. I did it. But I'm like, nah, you know what? Let me just, if I'm going to grow,
right.
Let me go invest this little, $91, whatever money I need.
Yeah.
Let them do this. Then I can just go buy the packaging. So once it comes back, press it up, it's out. I ain't got to spend, because in reality, for this t-shirt, for this hoodie, it was what, maybe $12. I'm spending $12 on this. Then you got the shipping. Then you got to go buy the packaging, Then you got to buy the other packaging if you want to put it in there. Then all that. So I'm like, I'm spending more money just trying to get the shirts together and the heat press together.
Yeah.
Then if you mess, and then the thing about heat press is, if you don't, you can go buy the heat press, which by the way, y'all can go buy. If y'all want to buy it, not knocking it, I'm just deciding to scale, but y'all can go grab one for maybe $1.80, I think, maybe $1.35, $1.80 on Amazon. But other than that, you go get that. Boom, now you got to buy that. Then, God forbid, you mess up on a shirt and you don't have the cutter. You got to go get the other items to go put it back.
Pay somebody.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you this too, because maybe you can help me and help the ones that's going to see this about managing your finances because you were a teacher.
Yeah.
So you made a lot of money.
Heck no.
So how the hell are you able to invest in all this stuff when you're not making a lot of money? What's the method for that? How do you do that? How do you manage your funds like that?
Me personally, I used to go out. I used to go I used to shout out to Fusion. My man TJ Get right, he got Fusion. I used to go there. I used to just go out a lot. I used to think, you know what? Let me cut back on spending. So, and even with shows, with music, I used to go out a lot. I used to, all right, I need this for a show. And I was like, you know what? What do I not need? So hypothetically, let's not need. You feel me? So let's hypothetically say I get paid every week. So let's say I make $500. You feel me? So in a 5 times 4 is 20. So it's $2,000. Was it $2,000 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. So let's say $2,000 a month. Okay. My phone bill is X amount of dollars. So that's only once a month. Let me go get that out the way because I know I'm gonna use that. I know I don't want to eat out all the time. I can just make some grilled chicken and some rice or whatever called a day. That ain't gonna cost too much, depending because it's only just really me eating. Sometimes my mom may eat whatever they want to eat. Then okay, what else? My clothing. Clothing. How much is that gonna cost? What's gonna cost me this amount? Let me think ahead. If I'm gonna sell this shirt at $20, if the shirt's gonna cost me $20 to bring in all together, dang, what else do I need? Okay, boom. I think how much I need to sell it for $40. But I don't want to break even. But I don't want to overcharge people. So you know what? I'm gonna take this loss on this because the message is gonna get out. I bet the message is gonna get out. I'll go take this loss. Because I might give it to you. You might put on an NBL shirt. Dang, Coach B got the NBL shirt. Where you get this from? Oh, my man, Isaiah Lee or NBL.com, whatever. That's going to go pay for itself. You see what I'm saying?
Right, capital.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, okay, I don't get much money from teaching, but what's going to pay for itself? The message is
going to pay for itself. So you invested in you.
Yeah, the message is going to pay for it. You feel the message is going to pay for itself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, I feel that. I mean, because that's, bro, that was honestly a personal question because that's where the biggest problem I think with me and then any like young business owner is just having to be able to separate what you can, like you said, what you need and what you want.
For sure.
Because I feel like needs and wants is two different things. Like everybody needs oxygen, everybody needs water, everybody needs to, have some sort of money in their pocket, but not everybody wants to do the necessary things to be able to get more.
Yeah, no,
and to really invest in themselves. And I think that's why I asked you about the LLCs because, I did hear a lot about LLC. It opens the door for a lot of other avenues. But what is like? I asked you about one thing that you're proud of.
Right.
Who's in your circle right now that you feel like, and you ain't gotta name names, but who's in your circle that's like I know you talked about your girl, but like,
for sure.
Mom and Pop, so they still around, like they still they supportive and talking about how big that is to have that kind of support, especially from the parents, from
That's it.
And this is a message to the youngins because a lot of the youngins out here that I see, they ain't really doing right by them.
You know what's crazy, bro? You're not even going to believe it. Most people don't. My mom and my dad did not get along until I turned 30. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, and not being like, we wasn't cool enough. And like, we was cool because we family. We gotta be there. Cordial, bro. I'm in the house, I'm arguing with them, I'm getting mad at them. We dang are not fighting over there. Like, me and my little brother going at it. We rumbling like, we boys.
Yeah, right.
I had to sit back and figure this out. They was just trying to love me. You see what I'm saying? But once I figured this out, I'm like, you know what? I used to get mad, slam doors. Man, forget that. I don't want to listen. I'm chilling. I'm doing me.
Right.
I'm listening to crazy type of music. Not dark, it's crazy music. I'm just, I'm really in my bag. I'm getting in my head. I'm on social media every day. I'm watching type of videos that go crazy. I'm listening to all this crazy stuff. You feel me? Like I still listen to Dirk Baby and all that. But I'm saying I'm listening to music that's got me left field going crazy.
What type of music?
Huh?
What type of music?
Like not like demonic or nothing. Yeah. But like the high energy type of music that make you like Chief Keef and all that. You see what I'm saying?
Young Chief.
From Chief Keef just brought out Javante with the 7-round knockout. We'll get into that later. Ryan, he was wrong for trying to do this, but that's another story.
Yeah, he just wanted his little 5 minutes of fame. What's that? Shut up, dude.
Right. It's to say that I'm listening to that type of music, but forget the music. I'm like, I wasn't taking accountability for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm tripping out. I got kicked out. I ended up living with my old girlfriend at the time in Dover. I'm getting mad at her when when she allowed me to be in her house with her family, and I'm like, dang. And then somebody tried to help me out, get a job. I didn't even show up to the job. It was at the Wendy's. I didn't even show up to the job. I'm asleep in her crib, eating food, chilling. And then we ended up coming back down to, we went to Wilmington at a church. And I think that's a church she had went to. And in the church, I seen the church before. I'm like, I seen this church before. And I seen some guy get out the car. I'm like, Mr. Andre? He said, hey, Isaiah, what's up? And I'm like, my man, Tyreek went here. You see what I'm saying? And this is like kind of like a story, a little bit. That's cool. I can give you a little story.
Yeah.
All right, my man Tyreek went here. That's his dad. I'm like, what's up? So we have a convo. I'm like, this is the church that my man went to, and he died literally probably like a year prior. Which when I mentioned earlier, my man Tyreek got a offer. Yeah. He was shot in his head.
Yeah. He went to that church?
He went to that church.
And that was his dad?
That was his dad that had gotten out the car. I didn't put two and two together. I'm like, I remember this church, and and so I was talking to my girl at the time. I'm like, my man Tyreek went here. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I
was like, dang, bro. This wasn't the church he had his funeral, like he had it somewhere else. I'm like, but just me thinking about it, I was like, dang. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
And so me and her.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, and me and her was, we ended up splitting up. But I say that to say, now that we sitting at this podcast, and I know we talking real on this podcast, I'm like, and I thought about this earlier, and I thought about this, I'm like, I wasn't taking accountability, bro. I wasn't taking accountability for me. I was the problem in the house.
Wow.
I was the issue in the house.
Wow.
Me and my mom, we're all great. We apologized. We spoke. I asked the guy, I said, God, if you gonna have me in this home and you gonna have me live a right life, show me what's up. How I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna get my? I said, God, help me and my brother get cool. Help me and my mom. Help me and this and get cool. Years later, we just became cool. We ain't go to therapy or nothing. It just happened. I just gotta happen, bro. But just to me to sit here and say to you or just anybody that's watching, man, I don't want to disrespect nobody that's watching, but to be honest, like, if somebody's watching, you might be the problem.
I say it all the time.
Like, I'm not being rude if you're in a relationship, situation, whatever, but you might be the problem. You might people always have this mindset of, yo, when I'm around, man, don't nobody want to be around me. I make people nervous. Like I got that energy that I make somebody nervous. That's bad. That's a bad thing. That don't nobody want to be around you. And you thinking it's cool that don't nobody want to be around you. That's a bad thing. Then you get mad. Nobody fool with me. I'm good by myself. You keep putting that energy. You putting energy out there. And the problem is another thing.
Preaching.
Perfect example, right? You know how it is when they play ball. We're gonna go to ball, right? Let's hypothetically say you got a game, right? And you got your crew, whatever. You got your teams, whoever's gonna play ball. You're a coach. Let's say you expect 100 people to come to your tryout, just your tryout, whatever, right?
Right.
And everybody on social media showing up. I'm gonna come. But you get the DMs. You got about 20 people that show up at this event. You get back on social media. 20 people showed up. You get back on social media.
And start trashing other ones that just...
You ain't show up. You know them 20 people going, they ain't going to say it.
They going to be like, I'm out.
They ain't going to say it, but they going to look at you like, so my 10 hours for your trial, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We want the biggest accolades from people. I'm learning to build a community. I'd rather take 20 people over 100. Because them 80 people that just show up, they just want that. I'm not gonna say they want to see you fail, because that's another thing. They want to see you fail. No, they don't. A lot of people don't want to see you fail. That's a mindset that people think. A lot of people want to see you fail. They just want to see, okay, all right, you got going on. That's cool. You might inspire somebody to the point where it's like one of them 20 people pull up. Hey, yo, Coach B, how do we do this? Can you help me with my tryouts? I got you. But you expected 100 people to show up. But that one person you impacted is way more beneficial than them other people that came.
And that's so crazy too, bro. Just because I'm gonna jump in because you're saying you're saying a lot that's so important for people that gotta hear this and that need to hear this, because that was exactly my philosophy. Because
sure.
I did a pod a couple weeks ago about people gotta build philosophies for themselves. Like for you, your philosophy can be, you're going to spend this amount of hours or this amount of time on this specific thing throughout the day, because you get 24 hours and 12 of them you're usually awake for.
Yeah, for sure.
8 of them you might be awake. So your philosophy got to be, I got to build a time frame for me to have for this amount of time to put it on this for my business, or for this amount of time to put this on, my family or whatever relationship. So I always said when I was on the field or when I was coaching, if I could change one person, and my philosophy is simple: 1%, be 1% better. If I could have 1% better outcome tomorrow than I did today, 1% better outcome the next day than I did the previous, I made an impact. And if I could impact 1%, one person, it's not a hard thing to do. It's just talking to a different person every single day to influence them in a way. Because what happens is, and it's just like damn near, it's like the domino effect, because that one person got 10 people. Really know. So you were saying that you broke it down with the 20 that showed up. Well, you so worried about trying. You cast your net so far. You're not even appreciating the shit that you caught.
No.
You caught 20. The 20 that came, could be the 20 that changed your whole situation, because those 20 people, you times that, could bring you 1,000 more people, because those 20 people know 20 people. But you have other people that ain't there.
Even with music, right? I know for a fact, and shout out to all the artists that's coming up. Shout y'all make, and I ain't gonna say y'all need to do this, but if you feel you need to do it, go ahead. But some promoters I know, they be, sell 10 tickets and, you get it. Listen, shout out to all the artists, but I'm be honest with you. That sell them tickets, you ain't gotta sell no tickets. What you need to do is learn your artistry, learn what type of music you want to make, and drop it. Because at the end of the day, you throwing the dart at the bullseye. You don't know where that dart is gonna hit that bullseye. At that target. But you're just gonna throw that dart. Hopefully it'll hit something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all the artists, go ahead and throw that dart. Because somebody is gonna land. But make songs that are meaningful to you. Respect to all the drill rappers and all that dissing. Me personally, not my twist. You see what I'm saying? But if you do that, cool. But all the artists that make music, make songs that not people want to hear. Make songs that you want to hear. Make songs that's going to change your life before you change somebody else's life. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do something that's going to change your life, because you got to think about this. When you walk outside, right, and you're like, I'm going to change somebody's life. I'm going to change somebody's life. You walk up in them and just start talking positive to them. That's cool. But people know when you're faking positivity when you have a conversation with them.
Right.
People know. If you tapped into not the spirit word, I ain't going to say that, but if you tapped in mentally, you know. How many people you know, motivational speakers, walking up on you, man, you could do it, man. You're going to be great. I see much greatness in you. You'd be like, bro, I don't even believe what you're saying, but I'm just listening to you because you're standing there and talking to me. You know how it is in sports.
Oh, yeah.
You might hire somebody to come in. You can talk good. Come in there. You this amount of money to...
Yeah, I'm telling you, the most intimidating thing is when you have a coach, somebody of a high position, and they speak, and it fall on deaf ears. Like, literally, I done been in rooms where these coaches have talked to these kids, and these kids looking at him like, man, if you don't sit your ass down, and they trying. It's because you said it's the energy.
Yeah.
It's the energy you give, and that's why, like, people like you, that is why this podcast is going to be what it is.
For sure.
Because the fact that you are one, and I'm not even going to let this question go by without asking it, because the whole time we were talking, I was listening, but I was like, it just kept bringing me back, because again, my email is reflection x elevation. This is where this whole thing, this is the mission behind this whole thing, is reflect on everything because it matters, and then how do we elevate? So for you, because you talked about the people that you kind of went, you kind of turned up on, you was talking about your ex, you was talking about other things. My question to you is, as we close this,
for sure,
2-part. Have you forgiven them, and have you forgiven yourself?
Yeah, so forgiving them, like, we don't really speak anymore, obviously, but I forgave them like in my heart, the way I was able to.
Right.
But forgive myself, yeah, that's why I'm able to talk like this. If I ain't forgive myself, I'm not having these type of combos. Right. I'm now to a point where it's like, oh, I can say this. For example, right? Because, I be checking with the ladies, but I remember I was checking with a girl who was real tight. He was cool since high school. Anyway, I was like, yeah, I'm starting to like you, this and this. I'm telling her, keeping it real, telling her feelings and everything. And she was just like, yo, I don't want to hear that. I'm good. Chill. Stop saying that. So I started bottling my feelings, and when it came around to women like that, I'm like, well, I guess not everybody want to hear it.
Right.
You know what? Like, man, screw that. Now I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, this is how I feel. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, yeah, I forgave myself because now I can talk freely. Now I'm cool with talking freely. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to go to the hood, the super streets, where I'm not going to say I don't belong, but I don't have a connection to. I know people are from there, but I don't have a connection to go to the hood and be like, yo, you guys could do it. These young kids are stuck in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Not saying I can't change them. God willing, I wish I could. Now, hopefully I can one day when I speak. But they have to come to my world, which is out here on a positive tip. And they got to meet me where they wouldn't expect to meet me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So same thing, you being a coach. And anybody out there, if you want to change your life, you have to meet these people where they at, bro. You got to meet them where they at. You got to go to where they at. Not physically go, but somebody might, have a hard, like my kids, they be having hard days, super hard days all the time. I holler at one of my youngest, yo, what's up, little bro, you good? Yeah, I'm good. No, you're not. Stop lying to me. Like, you know what? You're right, I ain't good. But I got to trust enough with these guys that I can say that to them. Because they know when I had them convos with them, they know it's for real. They can see it in my eyes like, oh, he not playing. He really care for me.
Right.
Because not saying kids aren't, but like I said, let's be real. I got kids in that school that have parents, but they don't listen. Them kids don't listen. They running around the school. Kids is getting locked up. There's kids that's, I can't tell you, I'll tell you off air, but there's kids in that school that's going through a lot. To the point where they getting, they going through a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And they lashing out. And a lot of people say, it's a cry for help. It's a cry for help. Yeah, it's a cry for help. Yeah, okay. It probably really is. But if it's a cry for help, how you going to help them then? Or we're just going to talk to them.
That ain't going to do it.
Bro.
Right.
You got to meet them where they at.
Right.
So if you got a kid out here.
You can't be fake neither.
No. So check this out. So if you got, for example, If you got a kid out here that's mad and that's angry all the time, and you remember yourself as a mad and angry kid at his age, that's, you know what I do? Listen, little bro, I ain't gonna tell you. I know how you feel. What's going on with you, man? How your life doing? I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna. I mean, I know we're gonna close off, but I ain't gonna say his name. But I got a little student, right? His little brother was killed. His little brother, best friend, was killed, right? And he was acting out in school, and everybody was like, "Yo, what's going on? Why you mad?" He was like, "What's up, Mr. Lee?" Because that's what they call him. Had a convo with him. I said, "Let me holler at you, young." He said, "What's up?" I said, "You mad because your brother was killed?" He was like, "Yeah, bro, this is why I'm like this." I said, "What happened?" He told me the story. I said, "You know what, man? If he was alive, would you?" I said, "If he was alive, you wouldn't be acting out like this." He said, "No." I said, "So I know it's gonna be hard, but I need you to do something for me to the remainder of the school year." He said, "What's up?" Act like he's still living. He was like, "You know what?" I said, "What you mean?" I said, "Act like he's still alive, like you about to go see him when you leave here." He was like, "Yeah, I got you, bro." And ever since then, he was on point. You see what I'm saying?
And that was all he needed to hear, for real.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I know how it was when I lost my best friend. I didn't say I acted out, but mentally I was like, I lost my best friend. I didn't know death was real until I lost my best friend. I said that in the song. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my story to end it off. But it's just like, to end it off and just saying, bro, go find your inner, be grown adults. Whoever's watching this, grown adults, young adults, whatever. Go find your inner child. Go find, when you find yourself in an angry situation, go find what made you angry inside yourself when you was young. And figure out, yo, I know how to handle this because I remember being angry. Not in this situation, but I remember being angry like he is. You see what I'm saying? When you with your girl. I remember loving myself how I did. Now I can love her a certain way. Ladies, if you with your man, I remember supporting myself, when nobody showed me love, so I could support my man like this.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying?
No, for real. I mean, everything you're saying, that's why I asked you that question, because I think that's the biggest hurdle that you really got to cross, is the forgiveness of not only yourself but the ones before that was a part of the hardship. Because like I asked you that because like I had to forgive a lot of people too.
For sure.
And I did, there's a lot of things about this podcast that we related on. The two things I think we related on the most out of everything we discussed was the fact that it took us to go through that adversity before to make us who we are now, and the forgiveness that we've had where it made us better. Because like you said, you lost your homie, and that was the hardest thing you could have done.
For sure.
I mean, I lost the person that gave me life. You know what I mean? So in doing that, it's like, but it's about you understanding that you go through those moments, you go through those hardships, because now it's like it makes the conversations that you have with others real comfortable. And the coach told me something a long time ago. Shout out to Coach Marska.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, I use this when we recruit, because we recruit as a lot as coaches. Like, we stay recruiting. Like, so." He would say, like, when I have a guy, which it sounds similar about like when we would go recruit some kids out of the inner cities, to your young boy now, the ones that go through those hard problems at home, 2-parent household, things like that, split household. He was like, I always, regardless of what, and just to give you an idea what Coach Marska looked like, Coach Marska is, a white guy.
For sure, yeah.
He went to Allegheny College. Like, he was, you would look at him and be like, he ain't, who is he? Yeah. He looked like he, chill with Joe Biden and all that.
For sure.
But shout out to Coach Marska, though. I mean, solid dude. But the one thing he told me, he was like, I always use a feel, felt, found method. And whenever I'm in there with a recruit or recruits, and we discussing things, and I'm getting into their family's history, and I look into their like grades, and I see that they're slipping, or I see that there might be a couple red flags, and it's a lot of personal things. I say, look, this is what I feel. This is how I feel about a situation. I feel, X, Y, and Z. This is how I felt in that situation, because I see that this is affecting you. Well, this is how I felt when I was in that situation, so I can relate to you.
Yeah.
But this is what I found out.
Yeah.
Because it's about getting to that next step. And it's about, all right, yeah, your brother died. And I thought that was amazing, the fact that you broke it down like that, because it takes a unique person to tap into that part of somebody's psychology, because everybody ain't right up here.
No, for sure.
We can talk about everything on the exterior, but it's two places of somebody's that's locked in stone. That's their heart and their head.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you tapped into that, it goes to show the type of character you was. But you wouldn't have done that if you ain't went through that situation.
Oh, bro, if I ain't know that, brother, if I ain't know my best friend had passed, bro, same thing. Rest in peace to my grandmother. I remember like it was yesterday. I don't want to make it too dark. I'm just telling you what's really going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember. We was coming into the little home, like the nursing home, I guess. Yeah, nursing home, I guess. I remember. She was laying there. She wasn't feeling. She sick, old lady.
Mm-hmm.
She ready to go. I walked out, and I remember. I walked out for something. I remember I walked outside because it was hot. And I was hot in the room. I walked out to get some air. And I walked back in. Gone. And I never said goodbye. I mean, I got mad. But that in itself, I felt selfish in that moment. But I never said nothing. I walked out just because I was hot. You mean to tell me I couldn't sweat a little bit longer? You see what I'm saying?
So she passed in the crib?
No, so we was in a nursing home. She was in a nursing home.
Okay, guys.
So she passed in a nursing home. So the whole family was just in there, talking to her, trying to keep her together.
Gotcha.
And I ended up leaving because I was hot. And when I walked back in,
she was
gone.
Wow. Yo, that's so crazy because like now, like it's another thing we got like that is in common. So when my mom passed, I was in Kentucky. I moved to Kentucky with my shorty. So I'm gonna give you a little story. I moved to Kentucky with my shorty because I got a DUI out here right on Main Street. Never forget it. Thanksgiving Eve, chasing pussy.
Where did that go?
And I was so mad at myself, bro. I was so like, just it was so much going on. I graduated from college. I didn't really know what I was trying to do. I knew I was trying to coach, but again, burning bridges. I learned that at a very young age. Burning bridges have messed me up. That I didn't get the coaching job right out of college, but then teammates that came after me that weren't even there long as I've been there. Even if you put it on a 2-year scale, I was there longer. They got a job with the coach, but because I wanted to be a dickhead to my position coach my senior year because I felt like I was entitled, which is another thing that'll fuck us up. He threw me to high school, and then I had to figure it out myself. So I graduated, went to Kentucky, and was out there for a whole year. But my mom had multiple sclerosis, nursing home gigs too.
I'm familiar.
And but like I knew she was getting to a point where it was starting to affect her too much. I was getting calls from my aunts, and my aunts, they right up there. Her sisters, they always held her down.
Sure.
And they would give me updates, and like I knew the inevitable was coming, but I couldn't force myself to go home. And it was like I couldn't do it, and I could have easily just packed up, got in the wheel, drove 6 hours back to Delaware because like, yo, your mom's dying, bro.
Yeah, no,
like you know what I'm saying. Like so, it's like the normal is to be there for your folks, but I couldn't force myself to go home, and it was like I took a long time to like really forgive myself for that because like I'm like, damn, like how crazy that sound. And I'll never forget it. I was in the office at EKU, Eastern Kentucky University. And I went to it was in the director of football operations, Kevin Costello. And I was like talking to him about something. And I was like, yeah, bro, like my mom just died. And he just froze. He just looked at me. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, my mom just died. He was like, shouldn't you be home? Like you should be home right now. I was like, nah, I'm good. I want to stay here because I was so I didn't want it the last minute because she always had it, so she really never had a ability to be a mom.
For sure.
But I say this until this day. The last memory that I wanted of her was of her smiling. So for you with your grandma, you probably had to walk out for a reason because maybe the last time y'all saw each other, she had to smile when she wasn't in pain. Not saying that was the case. I'm saying there was a reason that you separated yourself for that brief stint. But the lasting memory you're going to have is the ones of the positive. And I think for me, this is just me. The last memory I had from my mom was her smiling, and I couldn't bring myself to be home and be like seeing her in that stage. So
yeah, that's a tough.
You know what I mean? That's another thing that I think you and and that's where like I feel like that these conversations, my homie Corey, he said real niggas will always find themselves, they will manifest themselves together.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for you, the fact that you are about you're about others. You're not really about yourself. You have the goals, but you've been through some shit, and you've prioritized what is important to you, and you've taken advantage of the opportunities, and you've not burnt no bridges because you've seen the effects of the bridges that you burnt.
Sure.
That's like tough, unbelievable. So for you, honestly, you're a catalyst to everybody that's going to be on this podcast moving forward, because this is the exact reason I do this shit. And I want you to know that while you still here,
for sure,
like people like you is the reason. That's what keeps me excited to do these, because of the fact that I can hear stories and say, you know what, we share a lot of shit that's similar.
A lot of people do share the same stories. Even with me, it's like, bro, granted, I did burn them bridges. Like in reality, I'm real sure I can't swim in general. You see what I'm saying? But me thinking like, dang, and I'm thinking like, dang, I can't swim, but I can't swim without help. You see what I'm saying? And that's real life. I can't swim. But it's like, dang, okay. But I said that to say, I can't swim without help. I can't, meaning I think to myself like, I need help if I want to swim to a new shore, swim to a new area. All right, because if I jump in that water by myself, I'm drowning. I'm freaked out and I'm drowning.
Right.
I was like, you know what? Hey, God, what's up, Zay? You got any bridges I can go grab? Yeah, I got some bridges for you. You ready? No. All right, I'm not going to give you this bridge yet. All right. Years later, hey, yo, God, what's up? I got a bridge for you now. What is it? What you want to do? Oh, I want to go get a deal with Rock Nation. All right. That's not the bridge I got for you, but I'm going to give you the distribution. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And it's small wins.
You feel me? Hey, I said, God, what's up? Want to do a podcast? All right, what you want to do? I mean, I don't really fool with academics like that, but I mean, that'd be dope to get on his podcast to see how he thinks and those type of things. All right. You're not going to do that. You're going to do Out the Mud podcast. Who? Out the Mud podcast. All right. I come here. I'm having a better time here than I probably would with academics. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying it on the camera. I'll say it off camera, bro. I'd rather be here because at the end of the day, I'm down with the people I relate to. I can't relate to him. You see what I'm saying? No disrespect.
Right.
Just being real, I can't relate to him. I can't relate to these bigger guys, because not saying because of where we from, but in general, my spirit can't relate to his spirit. I'm not worried about all the industry stuff, because in reality, everybody say, oh, it's industry stuff. No, these are just regular people. They just have these type of ways of doing tendencies in business.
Right.
That's all that is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you're doing a great thing with this Out the Mud podcast. I'll tell you this. I appreciate that. I know we still running, but you know.
No, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, again, it's reflection and elevation. You hear me say that all the time. But the people that come on, the fact that you reached out to me, and I'm not even a year in. I think I'm 7 months in now. So, the fact that you took the time and you reached out to me, and when we did it, when we was going through the conversations in the beginning, like, you don't understand how much that meant to me, especially being that I wasn't even where it is now. Yeah. But just to see that there's people out here that want to see us win, us meaning us black men win. Yeah. And the fact that the minute I clicked on your page, I instantly said, this guy is somebody that I gotta have on, because he gets it. Yeah. And I think I might have picked more from you than, no disrespect to all the other guests that I've had. Sure. But the things that you've mentioned are so relatable that it's almost like, it's almost scary, because it's like, damn, did we know each other in the past life or something? Like, but
for sure, bro.
As we read this up, man, like I said, where can they find you at, though, man? This is what we tag. We're gonna get a lot of this on Instagram, but where can they find you at, though?
Isaiah Lee Music on social media. ISAIAHLEEMUSIC. I am redoing my clothing line, so once we get that done, you'll see that on my page. Like I said, I don't know who's watching this, but even if you're in Atlanta, June 16th to the 18th, I will be down
make sure you pull up.
I will be down there at the Juneteenth events. God willing, I will be at the Afram Festival in Baltimore, so that's kind of on hold, but that's my next venture. Man, listen, I just appreciate being on this podcast. This is my first podcast I ever. Yeah, it's really outside of a radio station. This is actually my first podcast. That's crazy. Yeah, now that I think about it, now it's really my first night. I just thought about it because I've always been on radio stations. Okay. So I've just been on an actual podcast with music and just combos.
Got you.
That's crazy, yo. Shout out to me for being my first podcast, man.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, the praise is mine, bro.
It's real, bro. Shout out to what you got going on.
Thank you.
Shout out
I
to moving.
appreciate it.
Don't listen, bro. I know the camera's on, but off camera, bro. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm going to. Like,
Yeah,
I might
for
not
sure.
text you every day, but I'm like, yo, go straight.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's I gotta have it. Because now it's not even just building relationships. Like, bro, I gotta build the spirit up. You never know what's gonna happen. Shop, you know. So
for sure,
man, Out the Mud podcast, man.
Hey, man, listen, love is always love, King, and I salute everything you got going on.
Hey.
And I'm gonna pull up. If I can't make it to Atlanta, I can't guarantee I'm definitely gonna be in Baltimore.
Atlanta, that's a high.
I'm definitely gonna be in Baltimore though.
For sure.
For sure, I might even bring the mics out.
Hey, bro,
we can just get lit right in Baltimore.
I know some people out there. I could put. Listen, shout out to my man, Love the Coach from Baltimore. He shot videos with YG Terry. I could connect you with him.
So
hey, that's my man.
So in doing that, before we wrap up, I want to make sure that, all right, big on network. You know, we big on trying to build bridges and sustain them. So
for sure,
you got to give me really two things, because now before we wrap up, the first thing is you got to give me a recommendation. You got to recommend somebody, help me get them on. If you got a person that feel like, you know, because based on your experience, they feel like they be good to come on here, male or female, who you got? Somebody help me get them.
Oh, that's easy work. I mean, shout out my man Chef Ro. He definitely can get on here. My man Fama get on here. Shout out to Makibi. She could definitely get on here because she has a story. She does hair. Like I mentioned earlier, she does hair, but she has a great story with what she got going on. Shoot, you can even get my girl on here. She does like deliverance and helping people positive. You can get her on here. It's a lot. Of course, Elrod. Shout out to Elrod.
Shout out to Elrod. I can't believe this whole time. How long you been? Hold on. Like this for like a hour or some change. I ain't mentioned my man Rod. Shout out to my dog Rod. As they call, I know you was Roger Butler. I didn't know you was Rod. You was a young boy. You be pissed. Yeah, you was my young boy though. You was my dog.
You be pissed.
He used to bring me around the track season and all that. Like that was my man, yo. I'm not proud of him.
Who we got, man? Kason Miller. He sang. Man, who you got? I got food.
You gotta help me get them on.
It's easy. I can text these people.
Okay.
Like
let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Text me, yo, I got a podcast for you. You want to get on? Yeah, like what you need.
And then my next question is gonna be, which is more of a cliche question, but you go to dinner, you got 4 people you can sit with, dinner live, and have a conversation with. Could be rappers, could be entrepreneurs, anybody.
You know what? I would pick Jay. I mean, that's only Jay. No, that's the reason because I want to know the business I want to know the business mind. I want to see what he got with his business. Him, you know what? Nipsey Hussle. That was one of my favorite rappers. I want to see what.
Nip, shout out.
I didn't even mention this. That's where I learned most of me being a man from.
Nip. I mean, yeah, Nip definitely.
I've known him for a long time.
Yeah, Nip is that guy.
My father, of course. I want to sit down. It's a podcast. When, you know, God willing, I build a connection and y'all can connect. But it's a company called Nice and Neat in LA.
Nice and
They do stuff like for positive, so like for positive women. They teach black men how to be 360 and change themselves in a positive light. I want to sit down with. There's 3 of them guys, so let's count them as one.
Okay, Nice and Neat. All right.
Nice and Neat. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I gotta put you on their podcast for sure. And I want to what woman would I want to sit down with? That's interesting. I would want to sit down with Lauren London. I want to pick her brain and to see.
I did not think you were going there.
Yeah, I want to sit down with Lauren and to pick her brain and to see. You know, obviously because she had dealt with Nip.
Yeah.
I just want to see what it's like. I mean, you know, just outside of herbs, just be around a woman that understands herself. You see what I'm saying? I want to be around a woman that understands herself. Because I'm not saying a lot of women don't, but I want to be around a woman that's like, you've been through all of this, you know, rest in peace to Nip, and all this stuff is going on. How do you still understand yourself? You see what I'm saying? I want to be around that and see.
That's tough. I don't think celebrities have said that. They wanted to sit down with Lauren London.
I do.
That's a good, because she done been through some shit.
Yeah, I want to see how she still understands herself, and because it's gonna sound crazy, bro. I learned 90% of how to be a man from women.
From a female, right? Yeah,
some people for real. No, bro.
I grew up with aunts.
Yeah, like if you around the right females, bro, you learn. Like if you around females that just do X, Y, Z, you ain't gonna learn much.
Yeah, no, you ain't. Yeah, for sure.
But the right ones, you gonna learn. So Lauren London definitely. Hopefully Lauren London sees this. No disrespect to anybody in her crew, but I definitely want to sit down and learn from you for sure. I just want to see how you.
Yeah, Lauren, I want to join the conversation too.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna be looking at you though, like he can talk. I'm just gonna be kind of staring. You know what I'm saying? Because you look good, Lauren. Like I'm sorry,
sure,
but you definitely got some gems, the mental side of it. So that's dope, man. I appreciate it, Kenny.
For sure.
Definitely. This is one of the ones.
Sure.
You know, and I'm always telling again, man. We always want to reflect and elevate. This guy right here just dropped like the craziest gems, the most gems, and all this is going up on the grand. Episode 17. We just gonna continue this grind. We a sleeping giant, but I think we might be waking up. Scary hours for y'all. OTM, we out of here.
Yeah, for sure, bro. It's real life. I'm gonna send you all the info. I'm gonna send you the nice and neat everything.
Oh yeah, no, that because I literally was trying to say I was like, yo, send me some recommendations. Yeah.